For over 30 years, one aircraft has truly been in a class all its own. It's a shadow in the sky, capable of missions that, frankly, no other plane on Earth can perform. It can fly halfway around the world, slip past the most advanced defenses you can imagine, and deliver a knockout blow, all without ever being seen. We are talking, of course, about the B-2 Spirit.
So to really wrap our heads around the power of this machine, we're going to dive into a pretty dramatic case study. It's a mission that perfectly showcases the B-2's unique ability to combine stealth, incredible range, and just overwhelming firepower.
Okay, and right off the bat, we need to be super clear about something. The scenario we're about to walk through is hypothetical. It's taken from a fictional source. Think of it as a powerful illustration, not a historical account.
Picture this. The mission is called Midnight Hammer. At 2:10 in the morning, 7 B-2s just slip across the border. Total silence. No alarms go off, no warnings are sounded. 15 minutes later, they're right on top of a supposedly untouchable nuclear facility that's buried deep inside a mountain. And then, at 02:35, they unleash 14 massive bunker-buster bombs. By the time the ground even starts to shake, the B-2s are already ghosts, gone, leaving behind what reports would later call extremely severe damage.
So that brings us to the central question, right? How is that even possible? How could an aircraft that was designed way back in the 1980s hit a target buried 300 feet underground and do it all without a single radar ever picking it up? Well, the answer starts with the aircraft itself. The B-2 isn't just a plane. It's really a masterpiece of what's called low observable or stealth technology. It was built for one primary reason: to get through the most sophisticated air defenses on the entire planet. And here, you can see the core idea behind its stealth perfectly. A conventional bomber, with its sharp angles and big tail fins, it's like a hall of mirrors for radar. It just bounces those signals right back to where they came from. But the B-2, it has a completely different philosophy. Its flying wing shape has no hard angles, no vertical tail. It's designed from the ground up to deflect radar signals away, making it almost invisible.
And the specs are just as impressive. Now keep in mind, this plane first flew way back in 1989, and yet it can still carry a 50,000-pound payload over 6,000 nautical miles, and it can do it all at an altitude of 50,000 feet. It's that one-of-a-kind mix of stealth, range, and payload that explains why it has completely dominated its role for decades. Of course, creating an invisible sword like this, well, it comes at a price. The total program cost, and that includes all the R&D, was nearly $45 billion. And that's back in 1997 dollars. That staggering number gives you a hint at the sheer complexity and ambition of this whole project.
But you see, the plane is only half the story. To take out a target buried that deep underground, you need a very, very specific weapon. You need an unstoppable spear to go with your invisible sword.
So first, a quick definition. A bunker buster is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a bomb that's designed to punch through layers and layers of concrete, steel, and rock to get to targets deep underground that conventional weapons just can't even touch.
And the ultimate bunker buster is the GBU-57, also known as the Massive Ordnance Penetrator, or MOP for short. This thing is an absolute monster. It is so enormous, weighing in at 30,000 pounds, that only one aircraft in the entire U.S. inventory is even set up to carry it, the B-2 Spirit. They are literally a purpose-built pair. And the leap in capability here is just staggering. Just look at this comparison to the previous generation. The GBU-57 MOP is 6 times heavier than the old GBU-28, and it can penetrate twice as deep. This isn't just an upgrade. It's a weapon that's in a category all by itself.
So what we have here is an invisible plane carrying an unstoppable weapon. And it's this combination that has kept the B-2 in a class of its own for more than 30 years. But that makes you wonder, why has it stayed so unique for so long?
This quote really just nails it. It's not one single thing about the B-2, but the combination of 3. Its stealth, its incredible range, and that massive payload. Other platforms might do one of those things really well, but mastering all 3 is what makes the B-2 a truly unique asset. But that brings up the really obvious question. If this capability is so decisive, why hasn't anyone else built one? Why is the B-2 still alone at the top after all these years? Well, the answer really boils down to 3 big factors. First, that extreme cost we talked about. It makes it almost impossible for most nations to even try. Second, the technological complexity is just immense. A flying wing is naturally unstable. You need incredibly advanced computers just to keep it in the air, not to mention the decades of research into the special radar-absorbent materials that coat the whole thing. And finally, there's a cultural element. The B-2 came out of a culture of innovation, pushed by places like DARPA, that encourages taking huge risks to get revolutionary breakthroughs.
But of course, the B-2 won't fly forever. Its groundbreaking design, though, is already paving the way for whatever comes next.
And that next already has a name. It's the B-21 Raider. While a lot of the details are still top secret, we know it's going to build on that same flying wing concept, but it'll incorporate even more advanced stealth, networking, and sensor capabilities to meet the challenges of a whole new era.
And all of this leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In a world of cyber attacks and hypersonic weapons, is the ability to be physically present but totally unseen over any target on Earth more important, or maybe less important than it was 30 years ago? That question right there is exactly what will shape the next generation of air power.